Welcome to Conversations with Cacao. I am your host and the founder, Alexandra Gabrielle, and it is an honor to have you here for our third episode. This month we are spotlighting Akasha Cacao, a small family farm based in Colombia. And we are so excited for our conversation that we had with Marlon and Paola. We hope that you find it nourishing and beautiful and inspiring.
All right, welcome back to Conversations with Cacao and Akasha Cacao. We are sitting here with Marlon and Paola from Akasha Cacao, and they are in Colombia right now, in Akasha, and we are actually in their kitchen with them.
Yes.
They invited us in so warmly and so welcoming. And it is such an honor to be sitting with you here today. And I have had conversations with you even before we turned on the record button right now. And the first time we met, your radiance and your love just beams through the screen. And it is really felt all the way here to Long Island where I am. And your cacao is some of the most powerful, heart-opening medicine I have really experienced. I go very deep with your cacao very quickly, and it tastes delicious too. So without further ado, I would love for you to introduce yourselves and just introduce yourselves.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting us to Conversations with Cacao. It's really a big pleasure, big honor to be here with you and sharing this cacaito. My name is Marlon, and I go by Marlon Akasha. And yeah, we live here in EcoFinka Akasha. It's a permaculture place where we grow the cacao, and here with my wife. And I'm really glad to be here with you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Alexandra, to being, being part of this project you have. Amazing that, we can share a beautiful cacao with you. And from our kitchen, you see us every day. We light the fire. We prepare the cacao here. It's part of our daily life. Secret medicine in the house is something that we really, really we learn to love it, learn to explore, and a really nice medicine for ourselves and for the family. My name is Paola. You call me Paola Akasha too. Or Mama Cacao Akasha. And yeah, I'm from Argentina. I've been living here in Colombia more than 10 years already, and with Marlon, we run this beautiful place. It's a permaculture school. We've been doing this for more than 8 years, and it's been a lot of learning for us with the help of permaculture and learning how to take care of the land, of the natural resources that we have around. And we've been very, very blessed, to also have the cacao that grows very magically in this land. And we can harvest it, take care of the plant, the soil, and have a natural spring of the water. And here it rains pretty much a lot. So the plants are very, very blessed also here, very happy to grow. And they choose us, this place to be the guardians of this place. So we try to do our best. So here we are, trying to explore now with the cacao and with all the abundance of this land. Yeah, we're presenting this and can present the cacao here that we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the good stuff.
Of course, we're very proud of it. It's a lot of a beautiful journey with this, and many other harvests that we have in the farm, and being able just to amazing people, learn from people, and also they bring us the connection with you, Alexandra. That's really magical too. So been great.
Yes. That you've been traveling around as well. You did studies in India for your yoga teaching, and then you were also in Mexico as well, learning about cacao and the relationship there. And how did you actually meet? I don't know that I know this, or because I know you were in the States for a little bit too. You were in Nebraska. So what is actually your journey together? How did you both meet, and what brought you to the farm where you are right now?
Well, we actually met in the States. I was a student back in the days. That was a long, long time ago, and I met Paola, and yeah, we started our journey there. And it's been a beautiful process. And but at that time it was a different story. Just doing pretty much what we all try to do, finding a place, trying to find something to express yourself, trying to fit in this society as well. So going to school, doing all the things by the book, following the rules, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So that was when we met. So none of this actually existed, and thinking that back in the days that we were gonna be here, it would sound kind of crazy to us back then. But throughout all this journey, yeah, in life it comes to a point where um life just asks from you, to move into the void, to jump into the void. A spiritual part of us to start calling you, and I think we all have that. And that's what happened to us. Deep inside of us, usually there is this void, there is emptiness that we don't really know how to fill with. And we try different things. We try, working or family or projects or just social things, but that thing is always there. It's always present. It's always calling us, and sometimes we don't know. And I guess we felt that as well. We realized that what we were doing, even though we were pretty successful, by, let's say, society standards, there was something there. And a few things happened, and we decided like just to go a different way, to try something different. And we decided to quit everything, to move back to Colombia and to start from zero again, like kind of like forgetting, erasing everything we've learned before and start from zero again. And it's very challenging, it's really hard, but I'm very fortunate that Paola stuck with it. Like she really was supported in that process, and it is hard to do that. And so we decided to live in a different way and decided to go back to our roots, to living in nature. We didn't know much about it, how to run a farm, how to, live out here. But at the same time, we realized like just by doing it, just by surrendering to that, that all this is within us already. It's in our soul, it's in our DNA. We evolve close to nature, and it's been just in the last few, probably 50, 60 years, when we humans, we sort of got taken away from that. So actually it's more this way of living close to nature is more natural.
Hmm.
And yeah, it brings a lot of beautiful stuff, once you surrender to that. I think life helps you a lot and brings the friends, the help, the strength, the conviction to actually do this. And so far it's been a beautiful journey. And also when you do that, the medicines, when I say medicines, I talk about cacao or other plants. They come and help you on this journey, to release that burden, to heal us, release those things that we need to heal, to face those things that we need to face in life, and really to enjoy this, to enjoy life. Um, yeah, it's been beautiful. It's still hard. We're still learning. I guess we'll be learning all our life, but I think it was an amazing decision. It was a good decision. Probably the best one I ever done in my life, besides being with Paola, of course.
Yeah, you mentioned, we travel a little bit the world, and now it seems like it was another life, as Marlon said, like, but it was meant to be. Everything we did so far, this place give us like this canvas, as to put our knowledge here from many different areas that we were exploring our whole life, and give us the opportunity just to be the best expression of ourselves. And we didn't know what we were doing, to be honest, but on the other side, it's kind of our soul knows what we were doing. So we kind of follow this path. And yeah, it's magical, like when you see in the back and you see, I have a background in culinary arts. And when I went to Mexico to explore a little bit about the cacao, my idea was more like on the artistic part of cacao, mostly like how to make beautiful bonbons, confiterie, use a lot of crazy techniques, and forgetting pretty much about the seed, the soil, the plant, that wasn't in that area. But little by little, when came to the farm and start learning about the plants, everything was so simple. To be honest, we don't have to get very complicated, but also give you both sides, what is to work with your ego and what's your work with what it means to be. And it's not that difficult when you follow that feeling, and we have the opportunity just to work at home and try to be as creative as we want to. It's no limit here. So that is really something I'm very happy about it, that this is kind of my little lab, and I can be exploring on my culinary arts background, but on other side, like what I feel that is right, and simple things. So a lot of things have been so amazing for me on the learning experience. I keep on learning, I keep on exploring, and I will never say something is a mistake or not. It's just a learning experience. So that sometimes we need to change something based on something that probably is not working, and then okay, I have the opportunity to do it, and I'm on my own, and then I have Marlon on my side that we can balance things together. Yeah, but it's been great, having this place, and it's magical.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, and everything that you've said and all that I've seen so far through my little screen looks really amazing.
Even in India with yoga and knowing other cultures, other way of how do they live, or the spirituality, you take what is make you grow and what you can add to your life, and here we have this beautiful place over there, the Maloca is the place where we do yoga, where we meditate, we make our fire, we make our ceremony. So we have a place for that, and something really that is the motor of this house. Beside of the fire here in the kitchen, over there is where we can go and do our spiritual work. Really nice. Way. That
is beautiful. Sorry
about the dogs.
It's okay. It's perfect. I'm just thinking now, what is that? So your farm is called EcoFinka, right? Does that have a specific meaning? Why that name, and where did that come from?
Actually, no, it's Finca in Spanish, or at least here in Colombia, means farm.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so that's basically it. In the EcoFinka, it's more related to the organic way or more holistic way of doing things. So
Okay.
it's just kind of like a term to say, like this is the farm, Akasha farm.
Okay.
Uh,
And
mhm.
were you always intending on being like a permaculture farm, or is that something that evolved over time when you started working with the land? How did your relationship with permaculture evolve over the years? Because now you actually are teaching permaculture courses, you're traveling around to teach them, and you also have people that come to you in the farm that stay with you, right? And they have the opportunity to work with you there, which is very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah.
Well, it was interesting for me. Um, I grew up in a very small town in the middle of the mountains here in Colombia, very close from here in the Santander Norte Santander region. So when I guess growing up there, I developed a very strong connection to the land. My father was a veterinarian, and my mom was a biology teacher, and they both had a very strong connection. My family comes from farming backgrounds and coffee, cacao, sugar cane. So the stories, all the things that I grew up with was pretty close to it. Plus, I grew up in a very these little towns in the middle of nowhere, beautiful. That always like really interesting, really weird things happen. So that's sort of a spark, a very magical way of seeing nature. So it was very natural for me. As I grew up, well, I would just try to do as everybody's doing right now, going to the city, going to school, being a good kid, and studying, getting a job, and but living in the farm wasn't really in my mind, but it was in my heart,
Mhm.
and it wasn't only until 30 years later that I realized that, it's like think I went to just live close to nature. Like I've been pushing all my life to do something different, and then at the end you sort of go into this big circle. You have to do it. It wasn't a mistake. I learned a lot, and I was able to see a different perspective of life, the different paradigms of society, like going here in Colombia, and also living in the States or going to places like India or the countries in Latin America. Then you have this way to how do you say, to compare and to deconstruct reality and to really ask yourself, those good questions. What is it that you like? What is it that you feel inside? Living not so much from the mind, but really going down to the heart. um, it wasn't a mental decision, So yeah, one day we have to say, yeah, we're gonna do this, but at the end, it was more a call from the heart, and at the same time, there was a lot of fear. So, but I didn't know much. I mean, I study. My background is in environmental science, forest engineering, and so I have like, let's say, the technical or the theory behind it, but living in nature is something different. And that's when permaculture came as a way, it gives you like a structure, how to gather, how to develop it, to make this transition easy, or at least that's what it was for me. So it sort of came like as a help, as a tool, and then we started growing. When we moved here to this place, it was funny. Like we didn't know, we were really scared, to be honest. And this place was an abandoned place, so we had to start from zero. Yeah, and we had to learn how to build, how to be an electrician, how to be a farmer, cacao, coffee, and all the other crops that we have around here. But then suddenly people start coming, and so little by little, people from everywhere in the world, they start coming. And then we started sharing what we knew, sharing our experience, sharing our life, sharing this way of life, how to live in this place. And yeah, after a few years, it's like we sort of have a school, a permaculture school. And of course, I got trained also. I did my training, my certifications, and everything. And this one, like, okay, no, let's just call it a school, a permaculture cool a school. So it's more, let's say, it makes more sense for people sometimes. But at the end, this is just our house. This is the way we live, and what we really like is opening the doors to whoever wants to experience this life to come and to be here with us. And that's kind of like it happens. So I have the I guess the technical background, and then yeah, it was easier for me to structure this place as a school as well. But at the end, it's just about sharing. At the same time, Paola's background is in culinary arts, so it was perfect because then we were exploring different ways. This place is an amazing lab, like Paola said, like to play with all these beautiful things that we have. And the cacao was here. So it was natural. So you think there is no coincidences in life, and when you're ready, when you open your heart and your mind, um, that's when life really happens, and where you can see the beauty and all the blessings that are already there for you, for us, for everybody. The only thing that is asking from us is to really open, and that's it.
Really letting those words
I don't
sink
know.
in.
Does that answer the question? Sorry, I went.
It does. Yeah, yeah. No, I was just like letting that wisdom sink in. I'm sure everybody listening right now too, is that power of, yeah. So much of what you say is just like, yes, please keep talking. I need to hear all of these things.
This is also kind of an everyday conversation, like when we decide just to put ourselves into the structure of permaculture school, we understood that what makes the difference from other permaculture places that make us a little bit more connected with a real life and everyday life is like the spirituality. Somehow it doesn't have to be connected with religion. It's just surrender to nature, and something that for me was very difficult at the beginning, really, really hard for me. I remember myself on my knees in the mountain crying, asking Pachamama, please, what I should do, because I don't understand. I don't have a clue, and if I can see the scenario now from another perspective, I was acting out of fear, but it was an amazing opportunity just to see myself being vulnerable and feeling vulnerable. And by that time, I didn't have the tools just to understand, when you kind of surrender to this way of life. I'm talking about this way of life because it's the way of life I'm living. I don't say that everybody should live this life, but it could be amazing if everybody, go back to the countryside and work with nature. We really, really healing for so many people. But on my case, give me a lot of strength on the time by time, And every year we have, new things to work on it. But it's life, life is presenting us what we can handle. And it's something that we will learning every time, like that we sat with the cacao, with the fire, and it's like, okay, we have more clarity. And in this specific time of clarity, I can tell you was during the pandemic. It was a very tough time worldwide. For us here because we were doing this personal work and the work with the land at the same time, was the most amazing year of our life, to be honest. And we didn't have internet by the time. We didn't have radio, TV. We have the main road here was locked. We have police right there. We don't have visitors. Just the people who stay with us, they have to stay. We were by the time we were like 8 or 10 people living together, and every day having an instructor and working on it because there's nothing else to do, just living the life, and that's it, and had the opportunity just to it was an opportunity just to do the things that we don't want to work on it. Because we want to keep on traveling, or I have other plans, or this and that, but when you make it face reality, it was like a wow, very empowering. So that was one of the times I can telling you, like, all the fears, all the uncertainty that we were facing through. During those times, we were very glad that the decision that we took, because sometimes you say, okay, this is the life that I'm going to live. It's a farm, far away from society, far away from everyone. I had to work double, like it's not like an 8-hour shift. It's like 24-hour shift. And it's my home at the same time, and wow, it makes you face a lot of perspective when you're looking like that. Yeah.
It was funny. This is the story when we got the farm. Like we really we're going through this process. They say, okay, let's do it. And Paola's from Buenos Aires, so she's a city girl, and I'm more from a small town. So it was easy for me, and kind of like the idea was mine. Oh no, let's go. It'll be perfect. It'll be nice. And Paula, okay. Let's do it. I'll trust you. And so we got the farm. And it's a beautiful how everything happened. But then we got here. For 2 months we didn't come, or we would just come like on the weekends. Because I would just get here, look around, and deep inside of me, I was like, what have I done? What do we do now? It was an abandoned place. The house was pretty much falling apart. And it was like sort of my like the idea of Paola to get that feeling like, what you got me into. I was like, oh my God, what do we do now? Why what have I done? But yeah, so it took us. I mean, it's fear, it's good. But then it's at the same time, it's could see the vulnerability is actually the greatest virtue that we all humans have, and surrender to that fear, to that uncertainty, to the unknown is when you really grow. And yeah, it's just one day we say, okay, let's just move it. Let's just move on. Let's just do it. And that's when we came here. And exactly at that same time when we did that, the friends was like, oh my God, but we need help. And then the friends came. That just happens, hey, we found this friend. He's from France. He's a French guy, and say, hey, I love what you're gonna do. Let me just, go with you, live there, and help out, and that's how everything started. That's how the permaculture school started, and but it's again, it's like life speaking to you, saying, trust your heart, trust your emotions, and the help will come. So we did it, and yeah, and it's been a beautiful journey. It's hard as well, and you learn about everything, but at the same time you realize that all these things, it's already in you. It's already in us. We have all the skills, we forgot, we forgot all how to connect with Mother Nature. But once we're there, once we allow it, you'll see that it's naturally inside of us, and that makes the work a bit easier. And yeah, like I said before, then also these beautiful medicines such as the cacao, they come to help in that process as well. learning about our humanity and, allowing us to be vulnerable, to accept that things that sometimes we don't want to face or accept, and helping us to heal that, which I think is very important. And I think we all go through that process. For some of us, it might be here, like Paola said, on a farm, but for other people, it might be somewhere else. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see how everything is connected, how nothing happens and by by randomness. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. Sometimes we don't see the big picture, but it does, truly does.
Mm. Yes, yes. And that's a perfect segue into your both of your relationship with Mama Cacao. And I know from what I've read and what you've told me that your cacao is in a very special magical spot on your farm.
Yeah.
Would you please enlighten us and invite us into why it is so special and what is so magical about where your cacao is?
Yeah, so at that time we didn't planted the cacao, so it was already here. Someone, actually did a long, long time ago, probably more than 20 years, we estimate. So our cacao trees are pretty old. Um, but we live in Santander, and this is the cacao region of Colombia now. This is where most of the cacao is produced. But the thing is, like where we are, we're very high in altitude. Cacao usually thrives in low altitudes, around 800 meters above sea level. I forgot. I don't know how much that is in how many in feet. I think is like 2,400 feet above sea level. And we are actually almost double that in altitude. We are around 1,300 meters above sea level. And so that's kind of like the limit for cacao. But we live in this beautiful, amazing valley. So this is the valley of Rio Fonce near San Gil in Santander. And this place is amazing. It's like full of huge waterfalls. I don't know if you're able to see. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. No?
No, it's
Oh,
right.
sorry, I think it's a little bit overexposed. I'm not gonna do it.
Yes.
And so this is like an 80 meters waterfall right behind us. The river just runs next to our farm, and there's these beautiful mountains. And what happens here is that creates this microclimate, and that resembles pretty much a jungle ecosystem. So here, especially in this part, it rains almost every day, except for a few weeks during the year. If you go just let's say 40 minutes from here, the weather changes completely. So if you go down, it's more desertic, it's more dry, like Barichara, which is a very popular place. It's kind of like a desert, not a desert, but a very desertic. And if you go up just 20 meters, it just rain too much. It's too and it's a little bit colder. So the cacao doesn't thrive. So this is like a very, very small place where cacao just thrives. And the soils we have um make amazing soils, Andean soils, and he just loves it. He just loves it. Just grow like crazy over here. In Santander, there's another place which is called San Vicente de Chucurí, which is like about 4 hours away from here, kind of. It's hard to say in kilometers, but that's where most of the cacao grows. Over here, only very specific, very specific spots. That's where the cacao grows, and this is one of them. So it's very unique. It's very unique the way it grows here. Is very unique. How that happens. And yeah, like I said before, you just move a few kilometers down the road and no cacao at all. So grows very happily, next to these beautiful waterfalls. What we do here, we implement permaculture techniques, agroforestry. Um, we take care of our soils. The idea always is to not to focus so much on the cacao or the fruits. Sometimes that we do, in just traditional agriculture. The idea here, what we do is to take care of the soil. If you take care of the soil, nature will give you everything. But the idea is to protect it. So we use techniques that allow life to happen, to thrive. We're not so concerned about the fruits, but we're concerned about the general ecosystem. And that's basically the idea of permaculture. So in this type of environments, life, and not only for plants, but the animals, the wildlife, um, the soils, the air, everything just gets better. And you can see the life when you come around in these places. You can just see life flourishing. So for us, that's what's really important, not to have just a monoculture or just to focus on one thing, but this is highly diverse farm. So we have cacao, we also have coffee, we have citrus, we have citrus fruits, and bananas, plantains, avocados, sweet potatoes. We even have like tropical fruits from the jungle, like really weird superfoods as well. So the idea is to yeah to not to improve, but to just be help just to life to um express itself, to bloom. So that's what we're really interested in. So that's kind of like how it happened. But permaculture at the end is kind of like a facade. Um, all this journey is at the end is more about finding ourselves, finding our heart, finding our path, and but it's beautiful, for at least for us, like just to do it this way.
As you were speaking and you're talking about, nurturing your soils, that you don't even, I mean, of course you care about the fruit that comes from it, but really what is most important is looking at the soils and tending to the soils. It kind of reminded me of what Paola was saying in the culinary arts when she was first starting off, and your relationship to chocolate, and how in that industry it's so void from where it's actually coming. It's just removing it from what it is coming from and creating something very isolated. And I see that, and I mean, nature, I haven't had the pleasure of living as deeply and immersed in nature as you have. But for me, nature has all the answers and always has an answer. And it really seems that reflection of how we separating ourselves from where we're coming from is so present in our society. How we just disassociate. We disassociate what we eat from the plant from which it comes, and we just harvest the crop with no mind for the soil that it's growing in. And really, the most important thing you can do is treat the soils. And if you look at it symbolically or metaphorically, what are the soils that need nurturing within the human? And for me, the answer is really spirituality. It's that the recognition of soul. It's the recognition of spirit, of creativity, of unique individual force. And that's how we nurture our soil. That's how I feel that we nurture our inner landscape, and our ability to even grow is when we fuel that spiritual force within us. So I think it's so beautiful. And I think, your energy. I know I said it so many times before, but both of your energy, your presence, your farm really has that energy in its cacao. And I think it's so much deeply connected to the recognition and knowing now that you tend to the soils. And part of this conversations with cacao community or movement, I've been really trying to sit with and figure out and feel into what is it that I'm wanting to cultivate? Like, what is it that I'm trying to do? And what do I actually want to share? What do I want to bring to people? And part of it is community and awareness and options and bringing new people together that maybe wouldn't have had that opportunity. But one of the phrases that keeps on coming through, and I've been playing around with it, it is that you are the seed of a legacy. Tend to the soils that you plant your seed in. And really this thought that each human is this powerful, magnificent, like divine source essence that has so much potential to grow with like beauty and like just growing magnificently. But we need that. You need to cultivate the soils and tend to the soils. You can't grow in parched soils or, nutrient deprived areas. It's so hard. And how do we begin to nourish those soils within us? And if that stimulates or sparks anything within both of you of how you perceive that, and maybe like what are the energetic soils that you really tend to, or what wisdom comes through there for you?
Yeah, wow. That was very deep. That was very deep. But yeah, sometimes it's really hard to express it into words. And sometimes we tend to separate because we live nowadays, our society lives from the mind, and mind really likes to separate things sort of so we can understand stuff. And so sometimes we see spirituality in one side, we see, I don't know, maybe work in another side. But we it's really hard to connect those things, and I guess that's where we are awakening to understand that this is a system, and everything is sacred, everything is pure, everything is beauty. That we're part of this beautiful energy that allows creation, that allows to see and to express all these things. And we are part of that. We're part of this beautiful system, and to me, that was probably the most, um, I guess, amazing realization and beautiful realization. To see yourself as part of everything. Sometimes we forgot about that. Once upon a time, we separated from that law of nature, that we're part of everything. And when you study with the native people, especially here, that's what we've done a lot. That's what they say. And that's what all the native people from all other places say, exactly the same thing. Um, that we decided it was a decision to go away from this, to go away, to see ourselves as an individual, to see ourselves as a separate thing, like us, humans in nature over there, and to see ourselves as the rulers, as the designers, as the managers. And that's probably the biggest, mistake, or I guess error in the system that we have, because a lot of the crazy things that we live is based on that, and that idea that we're separated from this. And that's when the medicines come. When you experience this medicine, it allows you to go back to awake that idea, that feeling that you're not an individual, that you're not just a solid thing experiencing life. Like, you're part of life, you are life, you're part of this, you're part of this beautiful expression. And when you have that, it's like um then something happens inside of you, and you start living in that way. This is not as in a service, whatever you do, whatever you express through your mind, your words, your actions is service to that. And that's basically the main idea in permaculture, like to see you serve as to see everything as a system, to be part of that system. Permaculture to me is more of a Western way of seeing this idea. But when you come here to these places like in Colombia and you talk to the natives, and that's for them, it's like, duh, you know, you're part of everything, and you have a responsibility, let's say, or you have but that responsibility is not so tough compared to what we do nowadays in this society. When you start living this way, closer to nature, abundance just expresses itself around you and within you as well. So sometimes I feel it's like changing a paradigm of life, how we see life, how we see ourselves, how we see humanity. And to me, that's like quite interesting to see what would happen. It's more people that start thinking this way. And so the medicines help a lot on this, or sometimes living this way can help on that as well. But sometimes it comes in different ways. Sometimes it's maybe when you face death, maybe when you face a difficult situation in your life, something that triggers a big change, when something that triggers a different way or a different perspective inside of you. Sometimes when you have a child, and so it's quite diverse how this happened. But I think everybody, that's the main drive. When you live in nature, you realize something, that nature always pushes to the best, most beautiful expression. There is always this drive to express the best, and we're not separated from that. Us as well, there is this drive on us to express the best in us. But we really like to sabotage these things. But at the end, it's like when you see it, and when you are able to align with that force, then like cool things happens in life. And I guess we all going in that thing, we as humanity, and I see as an evolution step we're going through on that phase where right now I feel, I have the conviction that that's what we're doing. Life is really pushing us to change this paradigm. So we need to tell stories. We need to tell a story that we to believe in, and that's the story that I really like. And so that's what we kind of like do here. We believe in that, and we just try to align with that idea and that forces, and so far it works. So big question is, what do you believe? What's the story that is in your mind? And remember, if we don't have a story, then we take the default.
Yeah.
And sometimes the default is not as cool. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Yes, as Marlon said, yeah, that's the story that we believe in. And but it's a story that we create every day through our own experience. And it's a story that people come and visit us, so they connect to us, like what we're doing now. It's a nice story. It's a beautiful story that make you, I don't know, to believe that is something that is possible. At the same time that we are living the story, we have a responsibility. It's not only for showing, it's also a responsibility of working on ourselves, because it's very amazing how much you can create, how much you can give to the world. But you need to sustain that, and every single day come with the challenges of life. So at the end, the working with the cacao helped us just to do that work, the personal work with your heart, opening your heart, reconnect with yourself, with your vulnerability, with your fears, with your strength. Actually, not only everything is bad, you also we need to reconnect with what we really are, and it's important that we keep on working with these beautiful medicines and until we don't need it anymore, But it's so good that I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, it's something like being in charge of life, And now because society tell you what you do, or the family, or your actual situation is where you're gonna, what do you really believe? So it's really magical what's happening. We start this out of an experiment, we can say it, out of what if we do this, and the repercussion of this idea and taking action of start moving this wheel in this place, in this beautiful farm, bring more than 800 people already from all over the world here. We have friends that already start their own projects in farms. People that I want to connect to through the courses, or wants to help out, somehow being connected with nature, or any petals of the permaculture flower. It's really nice. And then in this process, you start finding yourself, what is resonating with you. What is your call? Sometimes, Marlon, for example, here, I'm more into the, for now, at the moment, creativity with the products, and see how we can make this simple and good. And Marlon is really good just teaching and sharing and give that energy that he have about the love that he have for Mother Earth. It's like a virus that he want to put in people, that good seed, they're gonna contagious people, take with them, and we keep spreading this everywhere, And this place give us, as I said before, as a canvas that we can little by little start finding yourself in the ways that make you grow.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because at the end, this is our life, and it's every nice and beautiful every single day. But if you had a good intention and nice attitude, you can make it happen like that. And it's a reminder every single day, of every day, being present.
I think that is valuable medicine for everybody everywhere. Yes,
Yeah,
even
because this is
especially in the city too.
Yeah, this is a present, in every single moment of our day is a present that we can look at with a different eyes every time. It's different perspective, but for us it's a learning experience that at this point we can share a little bit more deeply, because we have a background already. And I wish we have more years like that, because we keep on learning. We're kind of babies still, I feel. It's because every time that we open this door, new things come and new things happen, and this keeps expanding, and it's magical. It's magical. And I went to the stage just for the curiosity of visit another country. I didn't know all the blessings that we have. Just have the opportunity to learn English, to meet Marlon there, to have a different experience in the culinary arts background that I got there. And yeah, and it's really, really amazing. You don't even know what what you're doing today, they're gonna resonate with you in the future. So this is with a good intention and go for it. Go for it.
I love that. What was that?
Something good is gonna come.
Yeah, definitely. There's a big theme of trust and following your spirit that's coming through with this call here. I would really love to present. There's a film that came out last year. I don't know if you know it. It's called Encanto, and it is set in Colombia. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the more you talk about it, and like my daughter loved that film, I love that film, my sister loved that film, and it really feels like the more you talk about it, it sounds like, you know, that valley where the magical place that was created in that realm, and all of the magical realism that comes with connecting with nature. And I know we started talking about this before we actually hopped on officially on the call, that there is this magic that permeates through everything that we do. And when we're setting intentions and working with medicine and working with cacao, that what we put into our intentions and our thoughts that we put in really becomes this magic. And it reminds me so much of magical realism, the genre that I've like been in love with since a teenager, and felt that so deeply. Like, yes, I'm like Water for Chocolate, or I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Like the scene where she's cooking and she's crying and then everybody is eating the food and they're all crying. I'm like, yeah, that's real, but it's real. People don't understand tuning into that, the subtle bodies. And what is your relationship to cacao and the medicine and how it's worked with you? And yeah, take it away from there.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. That's pretty much how I grew up, you know, in a magic realism place. Everything you cannot imagine, the things that you experience in these little towns, and especially back in the days. Now it's different, of course, you know, it's the internet and stuff, and now, you know, with social media, everything just changes rapidly how people think. So back in the days, even the place where I grew up, one TV channel, and I think I was 7 years old when that actually happened. No radio. It was it was so deep into the mountains that yeah, no FM radio was available. Phone calls were unreliable. So everything that happened, it was based on stories and people, like weird people's beliefs and magical things. And so I grew up like that. That's how I grew up. And yeah, and then you start reading like Gabriel Garcia Marquez, got like 100 Years of Solitude, or um and to me that's kind of like the way that things happen, you know, like back in the day. So that's what fits my life, you know, that like experience of that magic way of seeing reality. And it's true. Yeah, when you live in these places, like something else, something happens. My relationship with cacao is interesting, because back in the days, like cacao is a very cultural thing here. It's very popular. It's very common that in every single Colombian home, and or most of them, when you get up, when you have breakfast, you usually have a cacao cup. So drinking cacao was very normal thing. I know for in other places, like drinking cacao, like in the States, is probably not that popular. It's not something that you do very often. Sometimes you drink cocoa, but you know, cocoa is not even cacao. You know, it's just the leftovers from the chocolate process. So for us, it meant energy. It meant that you're gonna have the strength to do things. So if you were going to work hard, if you're going to you know, your job or to school or whatever, the cacao was very, very it was mandatory. that's something that you need. It's like a strength, and it's also gives you like this how do you say, like good vibe, good vibrations, a good feeling to do what you need to do. At the same time, when you when I as a kid, when I wake up, the first thing that sometimes you hear is this sound, is a ooh, 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 coming from the kitchen. And when you go to the kitchen, you would find your grandma, or you would find your mom exactly with one of these pots that you see in the background. And one is, we call it a chocolatera jar. And there's this special thing that sometimes that you find in some countries. Could you show it? Could you pass it? Yeah. So this is a molinillo. I think everybody in the world would have this one until, as I went to the States. But this is kind of like a magic wand.
Yeah, I have mine. I love mine.
Bro. So when you make cacao, you would hear your grandma with this beautiful sound, and your mom or your grandma would be putting that prayers, and sometimes it's that silent prayer of love, of strength, of, like that everything that you do when you drink this cacao, you're gonna have a beautiful day. That you're going to have a beautiful encounter. So they would be a prayer, an intention. So to me at the beginning it was like that. It was just something um that you would have, like a good drink, but we didn't see it as something um out of the normal. So we knew it was a special, but the thing is, like when you do it every single day, it kind of loses that connotation. And it wasn't until I left Colombia and I went to live other places, when I just started to understand and to awake, um, to be conscious of this one, of the magic that is in this thing. So that every day in my kitchen, my mom or my grandma, or now my wife, would be doing magic. And and so now, yeah, and now, we got the farm, and there was cacao here. And even in that, still wasn't very clear for me. And it was when the years went by that I started realizing that there is something special in these plants and in these things, and that started awakening in us. And now the way I see it is, it gives you a lot of energy. It gives you, amazing how do you say, like physical, um hmm? Yeah, physical good things, for your body, for your mind, for your heart. Makes you good. But also the other thing that sometimes we don't see is that it's a medicine of the heart. So it opens your heart. It allows you to be in a places that sometimes we don't like to go, which is that vulnerability place where you can talk from your heart, when you're not afraid to talk of your emotions, where you're not afraid to talk about your humanity, what what's hard, what makes you cry, what makes you sad, and to express that in a way that is safe. In our society, sometimes people use alcohol, and I think we all been witness of that. People drink alcohol, and to some extent that's what alcohol does. Drink a couple, you know cups, and people start saying I love you, or start crying, things like that. The problem is, like, it gets out of hand really quick. Cacao, it's something that helps to do that in a beautiful way, that you can sit down, open your heart, and talk about these things that are really difficult. And to me, that's how I come to understand this beautiful medicine, to sit down and to visit that places that is really really difficult for us to do it, and to allow that healing to happen. This is something that is designed as a social medicine. Sometimes doing it alone is not as how do you say, as strong when you do it with friends, when you sit down next to a fire and you drink it and you put that intention, and you're able to talk, to express it, to put it on the table, especially when you have to talk difficult things, to express something to someone, or to, yeah, try to fix, misunderstanding, or yeah, just to go to those places, like I said before, to go to those places where it's really hard to go. So that's, to me, that's what this medicine does. It's not a pill, and I know in our society we tend to do that, well, I'll drink the cacao and I'll feel good, I'll connect, and yeah, sometimes you can do that as well, but you're missing the point on this one. And the medicines, and any of the plant medicines, and I'm talking about, entheogenics or cacao, other mild medicines, when you do it in group, when you do it in family, and you do your job to actually sit down and find that courage, um, to talk about those things, but to talk from the heart, in that nonviolent communication way. That's when we're able to heal. Well, that's when we're able to see ourselves as a reflection of the other people around you, to understand that the same pain, the things that are really hard for you to process, other people have it as well. That you're not alone, that we are all connected, that we are all together, that we're just one. So that's why we believe that these things have to be, it's a community. It's these medicines were designed to help the family, to help the community, and that's the way we should do it as well. Again, it's not a pill. It's not something that you take and, yeah, I'll be cured. I think it's a 50-50 work. It will help you. It will help you. It will help you to get to that place where you can, that safe place where you can dive into it. But then you also, the other 50% is you actually doing the job, facing it, getting it out. So I think that's important, and it's difficult, and to me, the most difficult part, like, we're a very smart, intelligent society. I don't think the problem is about finding a good solutions. We're really good at that, finding um, solutions for our problems, but external solutions. At the end, the most difficult problem that we have is how we relate to other people, to your wife, to your kids, to your neighbors, to your parents, especially to your parents. And so unless we learn how to do that, how to open that vulnerability space and to really relate to the people around us, we're gonna keep, you know, going in circles, finding external solutions to life. And so I think it's that's the good part of it, understanding that this medicine help a lot. But we also have a job to do there. And that's the big invitation, to find that strength, that courage, that conviction in your heart, to feed that story in your mind of where we want to go with this one. And to see that spirituality, it's if it's spirituality, whatever you do, call it meditation, yoga, plant medicine, unless you do it with a purpose, and that purpose usually ultimately is just being good with yourself, and then being good with the people around you, with your community. I think, we're just going around. So unless we have a purpose of healing ourselves, and when we heal ourselves, we heal our relationships, and in that way, that also reflects in the community, and that's how we actually go into that spiral that goes up. So that's kind of like the way that we see these medicines. And this is a long topic. I think I'm gonna try to talk a lot. Yeah,
We'll have
that's
to have
what
a
we talk.
second one.
That's what we talk when we have these.
Friends over.
Yeah,
that's our friends over.
that's the things that we do all the time. That's our conversations basically, and that's what we do when we have these medicines. It's like to open that space for that as well, and to talk about these things. Um, and it's tough. It's tough. It's difficult. It's like a paradox, because once you do it, you realize like, wow, that wasn't as difficult as I thought. But just doing those steps is quite difficult. So but yeah, and right now we learned that we've been doing that for quite a while, and we felt like, yeah, it's why we don't share this. I mean, if we live such a beautiful life, I think we need to share this with more people. And that's why we decided, to start like offering the cacao so other people might experience some of this. We have a small production. Everything we do it in a very artisan way. But the idea is to share it as much as we can, so other people might be able to find that. So when we send this cacao, we send it with that intention, feeling of love, of connection, consciousness, like being able to be present, being able to heal, and to find that courage inside of us to actually do it.
Yes to all of that. And it's beautiful how you bring in that space of, it is a social drink. And the times that I use it every day as well. And I use a lot of meditation, but then the times when I sit in circle and have it with friends around, it's like just 10 times more heart opening. And it's that interconnection. And I feel like what Mama Cacao has taught me is really to ground in and learn how to ground, because I always used to be like out of my body, like I don't want to be here, I don't want to be in a body. And then she taught me like, nope, go down, and to really anchor in and go into the darkness, go deep into the soils and trust the darkness. And also a big part is, for me, and what I'm understanding as you're saying, like healing yourself, for me, what I've realized is that so many people are at war with themselves. And I was at war with myself for a really long time, until I realized, oh wow, I'm fighting myself every step of the way. I am not my friend. I am not on my side. I am tearing myself down. And I look at so many people where I live, and they're just at war with themselves. And we look at the world at large, and we're at war with so many things. And what I'm hearing as you're speaking to, like, how do we heal, like what we're doing to heal ourselves, is, first of all, for me, is recognizing if you are at war with yourself, to just recognize that and become your own friend. And in becoming, and in that choice to harmonize the inner self, then we can even begin to approach interconnection in a deeper way, because it's not reaction anymore. Now it's interconnection. Now there's synergy there. And now I can learn to grow, because I know where I end and you begin. And now there are some boundaries that we're beginning to know each other in a relationship, in a community, in what it means to live together, to be friends, to whatever it is, to express as humans. And yeah, this is beautiful medicine for exploring that. And thank you for illuminating those aspects in such a beautiful way. And I would love to know, Paola, what is moving through you and your personal relationship, and what comes up for you on the subject as well.
Yeah, I'm sure what Marlon said, and also, talking about the inner work we're doing every day and for a long time. It's like already discovering ourselves every day, looking at yourself with a different side every day. We women have this intuition that we don't trust, we don't follow. So with the cacao, it's kind of on my side, helping me out just to reconnect with that, with my intuition, with my the thing that my truth, I know if you understand my own truth, what is my truth about this, what do I really feel about something, and not always is amazing and really nice, sometimes it's just thing that I don't really like or I don't accept. And this is part of the process of having the cacao so present in my life. There are days that I'm working the cacao since I wake up until I go to bed, just doing the production or doing different experiments, and I'm being with the medicine on and on and on and on. And it gets me to this time that I get into this active meditation through working with it. And it's really nice because it's where I can see myself, like not acting from ideas or what I'm going to be. It's just being present and how do I really feel at that moment. So yeah, it's a lot of talking inside of myself, a lot of talking, a lot of introspection. Yeah, I usually do this in silence, all the work I'm doing with cacao. Try to keep myself out of distractions. Trying to set up an environment where I can have this opportunity to listen to the birds, have the waterfall in front of me. Yeah, in this place that I really like is the kitchen that is kind of outside. And then, yeah, being part of the whole process, like I'm controlling things, but I'm kind of, okay, what I should do, what I could navigate this, what I can make it better every time. And not through my mind, and no because I want to accomplish something, it's because I feel like I can put myself there better and better and clean every time that I can be part of the process. So yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been like an amazing way to do an introspection. And also at the same time, this process is I don't put that process outside. I just, whatever it is, it's in myself. So I'm working on that way. So it's a way, and it's a bridge also, just to don't take things personal. Don't put my ideas, so my suppositions on other people's actions. Yeah, just to be present and try to deal with myself, and do the whole thing, do closure, And when I feel overwhelmed, I try to don't work with the cacao when I feel I'm not on my 100%, or, I try to kind of, no, I really feel it, when I have to do it. And it's a way of respecting the process and respecting also my energy when I'm not have a good day, or my thoughts are not in a good place. So I can work it out, outside of the processing, but I can work it with the cacao, drinking a cacao, watching the waterfalls, and be there. That's it, calm myself and keep on going. And it's been really nice. It's been really good, really healing process. And as you say, when you try the cacao, probably you can have hopefully you can have all the love and intention that we can put in there in here when we process this, and also the powerful energy of Mother Nature around us, like having a little piece of us with you there. And so I think it's very important that we are responsible for the work that we do with the cacao, with any other medicine, just put the best of what we have and bring it to the work that we choose to do. Because we don't have to do it, it's what we choose to do. And we choose this. So at the same time, it's guiding us how to do our best, the best that we could.
That was so beautiful. Very beautiful.
Alexandra,
Yes.
should I maybe put some lights on over here, or is this okay?
It's up to you. So I appreciate your time so much, and I thank you for spending so much time with me and talking about the subject. Like I deeply enjoy this, and I would love your perspective and your wisdom and insight on what you feel like the mission is for cacao. What is cacao's mission? Because I feel like all plants, they all have their own agenda. They have their reason for being there. They have their intention. They have their energy, their life force. And cacao is now popping up all over the world. There are more cacao ceremonies, like all over the place. It's really become a very trendy thing. And for me, there's no coincidence that this is a medicine that's really becoming popular now. And I would love your insight and perspective on what you feel that Mama Cacao's mission is at this time.
An interesting question. Well, you mentioned something really nice just a few minutes ago, and it's understanding that first we need to work on us. Sometimes we feel that the world needs to change, or that we need political changes or social changes. But at the end, it's we need to start with us, with ourselves. At the end, and I think after so many years of working and living with the medicines, I realized that it's all about love. It's about the love that you feel for yourself, to understand that we're part of this beautiful world, this beautiful energy that we're one. And somehow that got distorted, that got confused, we got distracted, we got lost in thought, we got lost in emotions, and somehow we don't feel that love. So how can we, whatever we give, whatever we receive is what we have inside. So we create this reality around us. We create everything. So whatever we experience, we're creating it. And technically, in my opinion, it's like, and what we're creating right now is something that it's not aligned with that natural force of love that we have inside. It's aligned with different things. So first we need to work on us, and so there are things, and inside of us we carry this baggage, and we believe that these are things that come from our family history. There's things that maybe we experience in life, mm, that we store, these heavy emotions, these experiences, and that shape our life. And that basically we're just repeating all the time, repeating. So we get it from family history, and we just repeat it again, and then we pass it to our children, and then just life goes on and on. Now we live in some very interesting times. Like all the medicines open. If you see around, everything open. So the wisdom from the East, with the yoga, meditation, and all these beautiful practices, and also in the West, with the Western thought, you go to family constellations, and if you go to Americas, then you have all this wisdom from plant medicine, and it seems like everything is available right now, and it seems like we're just experiencing things, but again, we kind of like experience it from just as an experience, something as I do, something that lets me um just have an interesting experience. Um, but when you go a little bit deeper, you realize that all these medicine, it doesn't matter which one you choose, they all go back to the basics, to be conscious of yourself, be conscious of your connection with everything. But before you can do that big step, that big leap, um, we have to heal those things that we have inside, those things that we carry inside. So cacao, in that sense, it helps us. It's one of those medicines that help us to go there, and with the help of your community, your friends, your family, you're able to go into that journey and to start
Mm.
cleaning inside of you, and to me, that's like the first step that we need to do. And that's why, to me, that's what cacao does. And it's a very gentle, it's a very nice medicine. It's not a very strong, boom, psychedelic, or big entheogenic. It's something that's very beautiful, very tender, very kind, the way it does it. Again, it requires some courage from us, to actually do the other step, to actually talk about these things, to open up. So it's no coincidence. I think we are right on this evolutionary step. Like life is pushing us to something else, to grow as a humanity. And I think uh, it's a good time for us. And now the medicines are here, especially the cacao is here for that, to helping us in that process. So, understanding what's important for us, understanding how that plays in the equation, it's not something, just an experience I do, um, but bringing it into a system, that first I need to work on myself. If I am kind to myself, if I love myself, if I forgive and forget if I yeah, forgive myself, if I'm able to be kind, have compassion towards myself, and I'll be able, to reflect that on first on my family, your partner, your kids, and that will jump into your community, and then the community will jump into a more bigger scale, your region, your country, your town, and that will then extrapolate to the world and even to the universe. So, but we need to start with something, and that is to start with us. And the cacao is there for that, to help us on that journey.
I think that also as human beings, we need to make the decision. Do we want to keep on living the way we're living? And we are fine with that. And is it something that we need to look it up? I think cacao will kind of open the door just to see yourself a little bit more with compassion, with love. I think that the humanity needs to know the power of cacao, but not just to, I don't know, fill up your ego, just to do things with purpose, just accept yourself. And yeah, I think cacao is this amazing medicine that is right there. It's right there waiting for us just to keep exploring with it. It's right there, and it's amazing, when you immerse in the world of cacao, all the amazing things that start changing inside yourself. Yeah, and for me, yeah, it's that, to take a decision, and when you're ready and connected with what you really want to change, I think the cacao gonna help you out to go through phases. Because not everything is gonna be amazing and good. But at least you can see yourself, your emotions, what you're dealing with a little bit more gratitude. And seeing yourself with love. And we get used to be in this constant battle within ourselves, inside ourselves, and we sometimes don't want to look ourselves, in the mirror and say, okay, I need to make these things other ways or change this and that. But I have hope, that little by little, everybody could benefit with the cacao, and also that's gonna lead to other things, good things. I wanna think about it, like it's. I don't know. I don't want to see the future yet because I like to be present, and work in the present time. So we do this in the present time, and be focused on that. The help with the cacao is gonna be great. Gonna be great. So just take the decision, and the cacao is there waiting for us. I was waiting for us here in the fun and for you on your path, little by little. A lot of people popping up and doing the testimony about this. But yeah, I feel that now.
I love that, and that image that, first of all, the power, and it is a choice. It is a choice. You have to decide, and it is your choice. And what you say of it's going to meet you halfway, Mama Cacao is going to meet you halfway. But that's anything in life, but you have to make the choice, and that cacao is waiting for you, was waiting for you on the farm. And she's woven in and out of my path in mysterious and beautiful ways. And the breadcrumb trail that our spirit leaves for us when we're ready to choose. For me, it feels like honesty, really. Honesty is the deepest form of love. To really, when we stop lying to ourselves or running away or whatever it is, just standing and facing there and being completely raw and honest, and that deep vulnerability, that's where that magical moment, those magical moments unfold. And thank you for sharing that wisdom, and both of you for sharing your wisdom in this whole conversation. It's been, I feel like we've been journeying for hours. It's been very, very packed with with beautiful nuggets. And I know we could keep on going forever. We might have to make a part 2. I'm up for it if you are.
Of course. And yeah, sometimes before, we didn't know about this, we thought that we have a problem or we need a therapist or something. Sometimes we need to kind of let it out, and like we're doing this and have this type of conversation more often. When we put our heart right there, and see there is hope still, that we can do things in our pace, what the tool we have, but it's better just to do it and not doing it.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to lead us, but just the change is right there. And I think it's amazing, like I have the opportunity just to have this type of conversation through internet, and we can reach so many people that can resonate with this. And it's really amazing. It's really amazing. And yeah, I'm very grateful that what we do here. I'm really grateful and really grateful of what you're doing there too. It's amazing. Amazing.
I'm so grateful for all of the work that you do, and I'm so ecstatic and very happy that our paths intertwined in this very beautiful way. And I would really love to I'll put it in the comments below as well. The best way to purchase your cacao is through Etsy right now. And if people are interested in your permaculture courses, do you have online courses at the moment? Are they in person mostly? And if people are interested in visiting your farm, more information, I'll put the website in the link below. But yeah, if you do you have online courses at the moment?
A what?
Do you have online permaculture courses as well at the moment, or in person?
No, I think we're kind of old school in that sense. I feel the permaculture is just better to do it in person. I don't know in the future, but so far is yeah, we like people to feel the earth on these courses. So I think it's you feel the magic better that way.
Yeah.
So right now in the States, we use the platform Etsy, and you can find us there at Cacao Akasha. And but also if someone is interested just to buying directly, you can contact us through our website, or maybe here, maybe you can put our information on this podcast as well. Yeah, you can contact us directly, and we can ship to the States as well, and also it'll be more cheaper. But if you want just a quick way to do it, it's available to Etsy. And also would like to say that everything, all the profits from this one, I mean, it goes, we work with a few families here in this region, and we want to expand this. So everything just go back to the people that work on the land on this one, and the profits go back to also to support some of these projects that we have here, especially reforestation projects, and some social projects that we have, educational projects, and pretty soon, also a few projects with kids, with children from this area as well, to sort of provide a way for people to environmental education and also leadership education on this one. So we're not technically a business, this is something, this is part of our life. We don't have a huge production. We do this as something what we feel really inside of us, and something that we want to share with the world. So really appreciate it if you have that feeling to also support us with that. That would be perfect. The same way we provide courses, permaculture courses here. So if somebody's interested on that, you can look it up in our website. Yeah, and also we offer some intern programs for people who wants to experience what it means to live in a farm or live in these places, and also learning about permaculture. And you can find more about that in our website. Mhm.
Beautiful. I will post all that in the comments below. Make sure to check that out. And yes, I mean, I can speak from experience that
Mhm.
this cacao is amazing. I love this cacao so much.
Thank you.
I know I always like get 1 pound and I'm like, I go through it like that. I'm like, the next time I'm gonna bulk up. But it really is something special. So if this conversation with Marlon and Paola has not inspired you yet to take action, then please go right ahead and try this beautiful cacao. And we have a live Zoom call with you both that I'll be releasing the dates at a later time on our Instagram, and I'm very much looking forward to connecting with you both again. I really feel like old friends with you, that there was something connecting again, and it from the first time that we had a conversation, it was really like there, yeah, felt very, very familiar and very comfortable with both of you. So thank you so much for inviting me into your kitchen, into your world, into your home, and thank you for inviting all of us into your home, for your wisdom that you shared. And if there are any last things that you would like to share from your hearts, from your wisdom for our audience.
No, I'm just very grateful that we have this opportunity, and we're just planting a seed.
Yes.
And a beautiful seed. So hopefully we can keep watering this seed with more people, and we keep spreading and giving more fruits and more wisdom and more knowledge and more curiosity and creativity and more encouragement to whoever is listening or thinking about, how they can participate, supporting, exploring. Somehow, we all connected. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. You're always welcome in my home, in my kitchen, and yeah, just to see them from Cacao and have a conversation. Having now a conversation with Cacao is perfect.
It's a great name.
It was from Mama Cacao. She gave it to me in meditation.
And yeah, I'm really thankful for this time, for this cup, for this sharing. I'm really thankful for what you're doing. This is pretty amazing, and um, yeah, thank you for believing in this. We need more people, more projects like this one. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I know it sounds cliche. You heard a lot of times, but the biggest journey that we have to do is from the mind to the heart. So that'll be the message. I like to live there, to have the courage to have that and just experience life from a different angle. So thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you both so much.
Mhm.
This has been a beautiful conversation with Marlon and Paola of Akasha Cacao. And thank you again for your time. And we so look forward to connecting with you again live in a couple of weeks. So have a beautiful evening still. Thank you.
You too. Sleep well. Send you some warmth from here to the winter.
Thank you.